I tell the veterans that come through the program, be like your dog. Be like your dog. Find joy. They find joy in the silliest, dumbest stuff. That is unconditional love. They're just amazing creatures. Just be like your dog. Go out, find joy, take a nap, eat your food. Go. Be like your dog. Don't get stuck on dumb stuff and become bitter or whatever. Be happy and have fun with whatever you're doing in life. What service dogs do for people, I could tell you story after story. It's mind-blowing. I'm Piper Hill, and I'm the founder of Healing4Heroes. We're a nonprofit 501c3, and we train service dogs for veterans with any disability except completely blind. I'm from Louisiana, and I don't know, I was really, really blessed to be born into the family that I was born. I have an amazing family. My dad was a colonel in the Army. That was his last rank. But when we were growing up, my parents brought us, they took us all over the world because they wanted us to learn and know that we were pretty privileged and blessed to be born in the United States and be citizens of the United States. So they brought us to some pretty bad places and some pretty nice places too, but we just got to see a bunch of different cultures growing up. My dad, he was incredible. I mean, I don't even know how to talk about him. Like, just the things that he did in his lifetime were amazing. But when he had drill or had something to do like special at the Army, I remember one time I was playing in a mud puddle with my Barbie. There was a captain. It was the first time I'd seen a female captain. It was the commander. They were doing a change of command, and she was really pretty. And I remember I told Barbie, I said, one day that's gonna be me. I think seeing that and then being around all the military growing up pushed me in that direction. I enlisted during Desert Storm, so when I was at LSU, I was already in the Army. It was the most amazing job I ever had, being enlisted, and I became a E5. I went active duty, went to Fort Lee first, then Fort Benning for airborne school. Then I went to Fort Stewart in Georgia. Being from Louisiana, I specialized in fuel because eventually I wanted to go back home and work in the oil field. It was incredible. I had 54 soldiers at first, 54 fuel tankers, probably more than 54 soldiers, but 54 fuel tankers, and we were the biggest fleet at Fort Stewart, and it was just, it was incredible. I loved every minute of it, and we got to fill up all the killers and get them moving on their mission and stuff like it. It was a wonderful job. As a woman, it was really, it was hard. You get kind of picked on. Anytime we did anything, women had to be twice as good at everything. You tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna do it. I think I was a pretty good officer because I'd been enlisted too, and then anything my soldiers did, I would go out and do it too. And I had soldiers that, the command would send me soldiers that were not considered good, like to move a problem somewhere else, and because I saw something good in everybody that worked for me. There was not a person that ever worked for me that I did not find something good in them and promote it and push them to do their best, or help them understand that they had something to give, so that they could move in a good direction. And so I had people from other commands wanted to come work for me all the time. I had drivers, I had fuelers, I had warehouse people. It was really an honor, you know, to know that so many people wanted to work for me because I was fair, I think. And it was a hard job for some people. When I left the military, it was not good. It was not good. I have a traumatic brain injury. I don't remember 3 to 4 years of my life. It was the beginning of both wars, and I don't know, the good thing about a traumatic brain injury is you don't remember a whole lot, but the bad thing about a traumatic brain injury is you don't remember a whole lot. But what I do remember is the dog that laid by my bed for the 3 years, 4 years I was slobbering on myself. At that time, she'd been with me almost half my life. American Bulldog that weighed 90 pounds, half my life. Her name was Valentine. Valentine came with a boyfriend. The best thing out of that relationship was that dog, because she stayed by my side. I didn't know my name. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I was in a wheelchair twice, went blind. I don't know, and at some point I started teaching that dog. I don't remember how. It's one of the hardest tasks you can do, but I taught her to go to the bathroom and bring medicine. And that dog would do whatever she could to make me happy. It was really bad. What my MRIs looked like in the beginning to what they look like 6 years later. I saw a neurologist at University of Birmingham, and I was in a wheelchair at the time, and he told my family I had 2 months to live, and this was at the beginning of the injury. Kind of was just said something like, build a room and put her in it, or something. And I remember I remember that too, because I cried, and I said, you know, I might be blind, but I can hear you. And you took an oath of office to take care of patients, and you're not taking care of patients if you're just telling them this is it, it's done. You're gonna roll over and die. And I said, because I'm not dying today and I'm not dying tomorrow. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get out of this chair and to get better. Whatever that is, I'm gonna do. I had Valentine and God. I mean, there were people that tried to fix it, and they didn't know what to do. Fortunately, I remembered some long-term stuff, and I remembered to eat blueberries, I remember to eat salmon, take fish oil, or, you know, old school brain stuff. But this particular doctor told me, he showed me my MRI, and he said, I do not know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, you need to keep doing it, because my brain had significantly changed. The unique thing about it is I craved sweet potatoes. I craved sweet potatoes like candy. I wanted to eat them all day, every day, you know, and your body, if you listen to it, will tell you what it needs. Between God, my dog, and sweet potatoes, I think that's why my brain got so much better. I mean, I still have problems. I still have migraines, but I'm definitely not slobbering on myself. And I can read again. But I think, you know, there's a sequence of events that at the time I didn't know. Everything's God's timing and God's plan. Like, I think that everything that happened to me. I gave up those jobs in California to join the Army. I met Mike to get Valentine. I got injured to watch some of the most incredible human beings you will ever meet in your lifetime come back from 2 wars, just like me, slobbering on themselves in a wheelchair. I remember one guy I think he was an E5, and he had 3 or 4 littles, like 2 to 5, and his wife was pushing him. He did not know what was going on. Leaning over in his wheelchair, slobbering, just like I had been in the beginning of both wars. And I thought that could have been one of my guys. And the ladies at Fort Benning said, one lady said, don't worry, to his wife. They were giving him 10%, cutting him loose 10% of his pay. And I was in the next area next to him with whoever was doing my paperwork. And I said, don't you do it. Don't you let somebody else take care of you. You need to fight. You need to fight now, and you need to fight like mad and get every penny you can, because the money here is different than the money in the VA, and you are owed it. You deserve it. Fight for your husband. And then I gave her my phone number and said, call me if you need any help. Over 1,950 veterans since we started have gotten a service dog from us nationwide. We're a national nonprofit, so nationwide. We have, I think it's about 135 children with service dogs from us, and then probably about 400, I think it's 443 civilians have come to us to get a service dog. The connection with an animal is just, it's incredible. It's incredibly fulfilling. Like Valentine, she would do whatever she could to make me happy. There's studies done in mostly Europe but that service dogs do work. I mean, they do work. They help the person ground themselves. They do physical things for them. And then there's studies that you live a longer, happier life when you have an animal around you. I mean, I get out of bed in the morning to feed my dogs and water or let them out. The connection to them is just incredible. I can't put it into words. It's a train the trainer program. We start on basic stuff that is both AKC and Westminster rules for training, and we do sit and down. And then we start on task, the very minimum task training, which is touch. That's the beginning of a lot of major tasks. We do the sit, stay, then the next day sit, stay down, how you walk between a door, knees before nose. You go first, but they're right there. We do heels. We keep the circles going so everybody's used to each other. And then we'll start on task training. But we do lead and follow. And lead, even though it does not sound that hard or like it's that impactful, the two tasks that we teach, day 1 and 2, lead will get you out of a crowd in a heartbeat. You tell your dog lead, and that little nose will weave in and out of people to get you out of there. And then the other powerful one is block, and that's also your space. So when you're walking down an aisle in a store, the dog will physically body block people from you, not aggressively, they just block with their body so they can't get up next to you. You tell them post, which means like post guard, and they alert you when somebody is walking up in the perimeter that you're comfortable. If they come through that boundary, the dog will alert for you to let you know somebody's coming up on your backside or whatever, coming in your space. So you don't freak out, panic, because sometimes that can lead to disassociation or a fugue state where they're walking and talking like they're there, but they're off somewhere else in war or whatever's caused them trauma. The main goal is to give them a service dog, but I have veterans that come to me that sometimes it's their last effort to have a better life, or they're searching for something to get better, and it's their last try, so we can sew it all up and get it done for them. I do the training, and then I have assistants that help me as well.
My name's Amanda Holmes, and I'm Piper's assistant and the admin coordinator for Healing4Heroes. We are actually the #1 veteran nonprofit in the state of Georgia and the 3rd in the country based off of nonprofits.org, and that's something that we can all be really proud of.
I think the big pusher of me starting Healing4Heroes, at first I wanted to fight for veterans. Like when I heard that young guy in the wheelchair with his wife at Fort Benning, how awful. You serve your country and you go where you're told to go and you do your job, and then you get injured and you come back and a bureaucrat doesn't want to take care of you after you've sacrificed so much. He deserves more. He was injured by the Army. He deserves more. And it was the same pretty much kind of position I was in after my injury. I couldn't fight their battles for them, but I could train a Valentine to go with them and help them fight their battles.
Hi, my name is Tina Lunsford. I met Piper in 2022. I was needing a service dog. I had some PTSD from back when I was in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. I had lost my job and needed some medical care. So I thought, oh, I'll go to the VA. So I went to the VA, and they didn't like the medication that I was on. So they were like, time to deal with your issues. So we had to deal with my issues and needed to get a service dog. So it led me to Healing4Heroes. And that's when I met her. And I got my first service dog through her, and this is my second service dog. Piper has impacted my life tremendously. I had pretty much given up on living. When the VA took over, I just kind of stopped living. I stayed at home, stayed in my bed, quit eating, quit socializing, didn't go to the grocery store. I really became a recluse. I didn't realize how much PTSD I had. I met Piper. She said, it's gonna be okay. Just come down, we'll get you a service dog, we'll match you up, you'll be fine, you'll be out and living life again. And I didn't believe her. As a matter of fact, I've wanted to back out several times to come down here, which I found out is normal. So making that step is probably the hardest step of this whole operation, was getting the veteran to actually get here on that Sunday morning. So it made me feel better after my training to find out that that was normal, that wanting to not show up is normal.
When the veterans come through the program, some of them it's the beginning of their journey, some of them it's the end of the journey, and the service dog is going to tie all the pieces together to help them move forward in life. But the first day, you know, it's the fear of the unknown. I mean, I have it still, the fear of the unknown. I don't know if normal people have it, but I feel like we have it on steroids if you're a veteran and have deployed and been in combat, or I feel like we have the fear of the unknown. So that's why you practice the same stuff over and over again, because you don't know what's going to happen when a mortar goes off or whatever. You just practice it so it becomes second nature to you. But so they have the fear of the unknown, and they show up in class, and I mean, there's been extreme cases where you have a beaten and battered looking veteran, and then we have a beaten and battered discarded dog, and this is day one. And by the last day of class, you have a veteran standing up straight and tall, and a dog that is walking on a leash perfect in 6 days. In 6 days.
It's incredibly inspiring. I think that you don't truly know how important that kind of work is until you go through one of our training sessions.
He has been amazing. He gets me out. He gets me to help me with my medicine. We've trained him. He's like, I went to war to fight for everybody's freedom, and now I have the freedom of life.
What stands out to me the most about Piper is how compassionate of a person she is. There is not a person on this planet that she would not jump to help. And I think that that is something that's incredibly rare these days. And it's also something that I find really inspiring, and I'm just so blessed and lucky to be able to work alongside her every day.
Piper helped me in ways that she has no clue. Other than being a pal and being there and all these other things, she gave me a dog that gave me life. Her heart for people, Veterans A, and then people in general, she will go over and beyond. She will not sleep. If somebody needs her at 2 o'clock in the morning, she's up and gone. She does that all the time. Dogs need help? Up, gone. Veteran needs help? Yep, I'm coming. You know, someone's going to court, she checks her records, make sure they've been doing what they're doing, she's there. Her life is this, and I can't tell you how many, I don't know the number, I'm sure it's way up there, of veterans that she's saved their lives, she's saved dogs. She's an amazing human. She's got a big old mansion up in heaven.
Because I see so many people and so many dogs. I mean, I've handled more than 6,000 dogs, probably. Yes, 6,500 dogs. So from seeing that, and then seeing we have over 2,000 veteran clients, 450 civilians, and 132 children of veterans. But after seeing that many people and that many dogs, when you get that pair right, and you can just see them jiving and moving and feeding off of each other and enriching each other's lives, it's incredible. I mean, because we're supposed to be good stewards to animals. So I'm getting animals from animal control. And I think as a country, we should be good to our veterans. I mean, there's no reason that any veteran that serves the best country in the world should ever go on any deployment and come home and think that nobody cares and feels like they're just getting thrown away. Because that's how I felt.
We're all family, we're connected. Something about like veterans, we all speak the same language without having to say a word.
You can see kind of the difference that it makes for everybody that comes through the program. The community that we've built for these literal heroes is pretty amazing. So it's great to be there every day.
It's more than us. It's more than us as a collective family. We grow. Once we leave here, we don't leave each other. We stay in contact. We have group chats, and I myself, through some of the group chats, we've helped each other talk each other off the ledge. We've had people wanting to say, this is it, I can't do it anymore. And you call them, and you talk them off the ledge. You talk them through, they're worth it. Do you want to leave your dog? I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as that. Look at your dog in the eye. Do you want to leave that? I mean, it's so much more than a dog and a handler. It's so much more than, it's why we were put here on the face of the earth.
We're all there to be compassionate, to help each other, and to grow and learn in different types of journeys.
It's a bigger purpose in life, and she brings that to every class, and it hits home for all of us because we made it home. And I don't know of anybody in any of these classes that doesn't know somebody who didn't make it home. And so we all know we have family members that didn't get their family members home. So it's bigger, and it heals us, it heals our family, it heals generations as far as I'm concerned, because if I wasn't here, my kids wouldn't be here, my grandkids wouldn't be here. If I didn't get healed, I wouldn't be the grandma that I am now. I mean, I didn't get help till 30 years later, but I'm a much better grandma than I would have been if I didn't get help. It's more than us. It's generational. It is. It's amazing. I try not to miss a class.
Everything good and bad that we go through brings you to the person you are now. It builds you and gives you strength. I think the only thing I would change, and you probably hear this all the time, is I would spend more time with my family. Because you only get one mom and you only get one dad. I would just spend more quality time with them and enjoy them more. But other than that, I wouldn't change a thing. I would still give up a whole bunch of money, a wad of cash to make $24,000 and go to a unit that the commander didn't like me or women or whatever and do the job, because I have met some of the most amazing people, and I have made everything I've done, I have made it fun. I think personally, I just want to walk with God. I do, and I want to spread His love. I can't be Jesus, but be like Jesus and just love people and wish them well and happiness and blessings. And I'm the person that you win the lottery, I'm so happy for you. You marry the love of your life, I'm so happy for you. You have 3 sets of triplets, and that's what you always, well, I am so happy for you. I just want people to be happy and find joy, and if I can be a part of it or helping that happen, I want to be.